Excited about airsoft? Hit the like button and comment to join other airsofters in the conversation. What's up, airsofters? This is the Bolt BR47 Mark 18 AEG, and in this video, we're going to go over all of the features of this replica, as well as do some shooting to give you an idea of how it performs. But before any of that, we're going to start with how it arrives to you in the box. The BR47 Mark 18 gets its name from the Daniel Defense Mark 18 rail, and therefore comes in a really slick packaged Daniel Defense and EMG licensed box. Now, once we open the box, we get a better look at the packaging itself. The rifle is held really conveniently on some hook and loop tabs that keep it secure while it's in shipping. You get a really cool Bolt Airsoft patch, as well as a variety of documentation, including the product certificate of performance, a user manual, and a very cool decal. Also included is the accessory box, which comes with the magazine, extra wiring, and of course the certificate of authenticity for it being a licensed Daniel Defense product from EMG. The AR47 platform is a design that's been around for a minute, and there are several brands that have lended their touch to a pretty uniquely iconic design that combines AK magazines with tried and true AR controls and layout. The latest group of designers to throw their hats in the AR47 ring are the guys from Bolt Airsoft, who've used their expertise to make an already extremely cool and interesting idea into something even more realistic, with the Bolt BR47 Mark 18 featuring their B.R.S.S recoil system. We'll get into that in just a minute. Externally, the BR47 features full metal construction in both the receiver and the 9.5-inch Daniel Defense licensed Mark 18 RIS-2 free float Picatinny rail, thus the name of the rifle. There's plenty of space for accessory mounts on the BR47 as well, thanks to the rail as well as the full-length Picatinny rail on top of the receiver. A set of metal flip-up backup iron sights are also included. The controls are standard fare for M4 AR-15s, with the select fire switch located above the trigger and rotating through safe, semi, and full auto fire modes on a 180-degree sweep. Uniquely, thanks to the design incorporating AK magazines, the magwell is extended, and there are two ways of ejecting the magazine. The first being the more traditional M4 AR-15 magazine release button, and the second being a depressible lever between the trigger guard and the magazine itself. There's just enough purchase to get a gloved thumb in there, allowing you to eject the magazine. In either case, the magazine rocks forward like the more traditional AK design, as opposed to the M4's drop-free design that drops vertically. A metal receiver extension, or buffer tube, serves as the perfect mount for the included crane-style stock. Conveniently, QD sling mount points are provided on either side of the stock, as well as toward the rear of the handguard, giving you plenty of options when it comes to choosing slings. The BR47 Mark 18 is rear-wired, and the stock functions well as a battery compartment, while the front portion of the buffer tube pulls double duty and contains a major component of the B.R.S.S, or Bolt Recoil Shock System. This does mean that some creative wiring has to happen, but it's all packaged very nicely out of the box. This puppy's wired to small type Tamiya connectors from the factory, and we found that an 11.1 volt lithium-ion nunchuck style battery to be the best fit here, giving us great performance and runtime without struggling for space. And speaking of performance, our chrono test showed an impressive 410 to 415 feet per second on semi, and a realistic 14 rounds per second on full auto, all while utilizing our test standard 0.20 gram BBs and a Matrix 11.1 volt 2000 milliamp lithium-ion nunchuck battery. The 50-foot accuracy test proved to be an easy task for the Bolt BR47, placing 90% of our shots on the 6-inch plate, as well as a nice tight grouping on our Evike Professional silhouette target. Out at 100 feet, we placed about 60% of our shots on the 6-inch plate, and easily placed shots on our silhouette target. Even tighter groupings can be achieved with an upgraded bucking and polished inner barrel, available right here on our website. What the accuracy test doesn't show is how cool and realistic the simulated recoil feels, provided by the B.R.S.S system. It's a beautiful combination of AEG performance and reliability paired with gas blowback levels of kickback, all without the drawbacks and cost of gas blowback magazines. To get a better idea of how the B.R.S.S system works, we need to take a look at the internals. The inner barrel has Bolt 6.0 laser etched on the side. The barrel seems to be high quality with very deep crowning at the muzzle. The hop-up chamber is proprietary and has a rotary style adjustment wheel. The recoil shock system has several interesting features. One feature is the reciprocating mock bolt, which is attached to a spring on top of the gearbox. This does mean that the gearbox shell is very likely proprietary. The recoil shock system works by moving a weight inside the buffer tube. Taking this system apart requires cutting the wires that lead to your battery. The wires run in a groove underneath the adjustable stock track and then travel under the castle nut and into the gearbox. With the wires cut, the buffer tube can be unthreaded from the receiver, allowing access to the recoil weight and spring. The weight has a pair of O-rings that help it glide inside the buffer tube, and a large spring which softens the impact at the rear extreme of travel. That weight interacts with the piston via a rod that contacts the rear of the piston head, so when the piston moves back, it pushes the weight to the rear, simulating recoil. The piston is polymer with metal teeth, the second tooth removed. The piston body has a lot of material removed to keep the weight down as much as possible. The piston head is ported and made of aluminum. The cylinder is ported, the cylinder head is aluminum with 2 O-rings, and the nozzle is polymer with a single O-ring, which means compression out of the box is stellar. This is a large part of why these AEGs chrono so high. The motor is a Bolt supermagnetic super high torque 3200 RPM with neodymium magnets. The gears are high torque ratio and spin on 6mm bushings. The trigger is a standard AEG style trigger, but this does mean that the majority of aftermarket MOSFETs will fit this gearbox with no issues. The Bolt BR47 is an excellent example of blending two different worlds into one great experience. The seamless blending of AK and M4 platforms makes for a unique rifle, and the combined functions of AEG and gas blowback make for an ultimate airsoft experience. Get your very own BR47 Mark 18 in either of the very tactical color options right here on Evike.com. Thanks for watching. Want even more airsoft content? Hit the subscribe button and click the bell notification icon. Follow us on Instagram and join our Facebook for epic weekly giveaways.